La 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 la.
Okay.
This is me who I am today.
Yep, this is you. Welcome to another absolutely amazing installment of Wow Gr8 Podcast. Today we have Alli. Alli?
Hello. Hi.
I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, but just give us your name, your preferred pronouns, and where you're from.
Yeah. I'm Alli, Allison, and I go by she, her, and I'm currently in San Jose, California. I'm in Northern California. So great to be on this podcast. I'm so excited.
Thank you for being here. Alyssa and I would be in the same room if it wasn't for situations that are beyond our control, but hopefully at some point we'll be able to move past. Eventually we'll interview in like an actual interview room. That'll be super cool.
Yeah, that'd be so nice.
We'll be so fun.
Just like, oh gosh, just redo all these interviews that we've already done. Be like, okay, round 2. Happy to have you back. Now we're in person.
Coming back.
Happy that you could do a double backflip. Like,
yeah.
So 2 weeks from now, Alli.
Oh god.
Yeah. Yes, literally.
Okay. So I also am trying to like keep it all like cool and like we have a template and stuff. So give us your skate setup. What's that?
Oh, I should have brought my skates. They're so cool. My skate setup currently, I had a couple. What I have currently is the fuchsia jack boot, and I painted the back stake gold. Along with that, I have the Sure Grip Park Series wide trucks. They're extremely tall, and I have these custom-made slide blocks made out of wood and metal from Jean-Claude Makoto or Jean-Claude Leduc. He's from Santa Cruz. And the wheels that I ride are Orbit wheels. I think they're 52 millimeter. They're 99 hardness, 99A. And I have the Kaya Bomb toe stops. They're like neon green. They're so cool. And then I have like turquoise toe caps from Roller Stuff. And I think that's all I have on derby laces. Yeah, I can't forget laces. You know, stuff.
I don't lace Velcro.
I feel like your skate setup is like, you've had such a journey, I'll call it euphemistically, is that a word? As a euphemism. Because you're on Bonds and you have lollies and you have jacks, you have like multiple pairs of skates, and I know that there was like some issues. Maybe?
Yeah, the main issue right now is, it's still an issue, is like when I had my lollies, I started with my lollies. You got them for like $100 on Facebook Marketplace, like 2019, before anyone was like,
gosh,
rollers, Moxie, roller skates. Before anyone was like, what the heck is Moxie? I got them off a girl and they were really messed up on the toes. So I was like, how do I solve this problem? And I found that they're toe caps. And I wish I'd done that way sooner, and I wish that girl had done it a little bit sooner, to put toe caps on her toes, because it was like, it's super glued. It's so bad.
Oh my gosh.
So wait, I had those. They were like super glued toes. It was so bad. If not super glue, like Gorilla Glue, you know, when like skateboarders glue their shoe. I was like, no, not the suede. Part of me was like, whatever. Part of me was like, this is not attractive. So anyways, I had the stock plate on it. I cracked it when I was jumping off of like a box or something at Mike Fox, and then the toe stop fell out because it's a toe stop nut and washer, right? That fell off with the toe pedals, the toe brakes, or the pedal, the brake stopped, whatever. I can't even say it.
Plug Moxie brake pedals.
The brake pedals. There we go. Yeah, so the brake pedal came off and it cracked my plate where the pivot cup was. So the truck came off and everything. I was like, damn it. So I figured out, you know what? It's time to get a new plate, because these boots still have life. So I got the Reactor Neo plate, had the toe lock, the toe stop lock, which was like the best thing ever. Then I was like, well, my wild bones aren't really doing anything, and I had been kind of sliding, and I had the minis, which like, yeah, they fit like in between the kingpin, but I did not slide at all. I could stall, but you can't slide on something so small that doesn't even catch the coping. So then I had a friend who was like, oh, I have these Bigfoot slide blocks I don't want because they don't fit my Kayas. And I was like, I'll take them, $80, I'll take them. And you buy a custom block, it's like around $100 something. So
Yeah.
that was a steal. And then later on, I was like, all right, my lollies ain't doing nothing for me. So actually, Shortstop 6, she reached out to me and was like, hey, I was actually thinking about reaching out to more roller skaters if they wanted to try this product. They wanted to try the new Bont Park series. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. I was looking at getting a new skate anyways. I wasn't sure between, a jack boot or anything else. I didn't really know anything else after that.
Yeah.
So when she reached out to me, I was like, yeah, I'd love to try it. And I ended up getting a pair of skates for her and from her for me and also one of my other girls. And it was very, very generous of her to do that. So I really appreciated having a new pair of boots, but part of me should have asked if I could have got the complete, because I ended up breaking the kingpin on the reactor, which I broke on my lollies first, then on the Bont, and it was really devastating. So I couldn't skate for like a month on anything. I didn't have anything ready. I mean, the jacks were not ready for park. They're ready for dancing, and I'm not the most fond of dancing, but I mean, I could do it.
Yeah. So, which quick shout out, Shortstop is incredible. I watch her videos and I'm just like in awe 24/7. She's so good at blading and quads, like so good. And I've been watching her dance videos and like her spins and stuff, and they're getting so good. And I'm just I don't know this person at all, and I'm like so invested in her skate journey.
Me too. I think that's what she really inspired me to get into blading too. And she inspired me to like try different skates, because I was like, damn, she's doing like all kinds of things on different types of skates right now. And I'm like, I kind of want to try that too. And if she's dancing, maybe I'm not going to say I'm going to follow her, and it's not like always my pleasure to dance, but like her efforts are like showing really good results. And I'm like, I know I could do it if I tried. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I will at some point.
Absolutely. I think that when you're like really stuck on one or really into one type of skating, it's kind of hard to like that's how I feel about dancing too, where I'm like, yeah, it's fun, it's fine, like I don't have any qualms with it, I would like to get better at it, but like my head is so in park skating and like street, just like this type of skating, that I'm like, I don't have time, I guess.
I think it's also like, I know we talked before that we used to be athletes, so in an athlete mindset, which is kind of what sort of sets people apart, is like, you have a drill to do. You are going to do this drill, and you're going to constantly do it until you perfect it. And it's kind of like, it shouldn't be like, that's not how everyone works. But as a swimmer, I'm always like, all right, do your warm up, do your drills, do your technique, do your, distance, get your PR of the day, and then warm down and go home. Or, for us, it's like skating till lights out or skate until we can't. So it kind of like is drilled into me to do that kind of style of skating. So I that's just how I work, and I kind of wish I didn't work that way, because I feel like sometimes it takes the fun out of everything.
Yeah, which I think that touches on, or like that kind of segues into one of the questions we had for you, was that like, I know that you have an athletic background and like you have progressed in roller skating so quickly, and we've talked about this before of like just body awareness from other sports helps a lot, or like it really like lays over into skating. So like, what do you think as far as your progress on quads? Do you feel like your athletic background and like, do you have any mentors or a certain mindset, which you kind of just touched on right now, or like your past athletic whatever, like how do you think you've gotten to where you are so quickly?
I think definitely my athletic background really helped, because for when I started off as, I will always call myself a swimmer, but I also did a little bit of gymnastics and ice skating when I was younger, but that was just like, to tumble gym, just roll around and get the energy out kind of thing. I'm pretty sure I did ice skating when I was like 10 years old. So that was kind of like a fun little segue. And from there I was like, well, ice skating got closed down after a while. So I was still swimming. Then diving was kind of played into a part where I was like jumping off springboards and doing like just keeping my body straight and like learning how to like get out of certain things, and tucking and rolling or like rolling off the board or getting into a tight I guess I call it an egg drop, but I just go into a ball and just fall in. It was so cute. You look like a little like drop of water just going in. It's really cute. But that like really helped with my body awareness on top of swimming, because when you swim, you're definitely just like, you have to use a lot, your entire body to just get across. I would definitely say like gymnastics, swimming, and diving really helped me kind of get those gymnastic tricks at the park. Handstands were always kind of a fun thing to do. You just do them in the grass. So I always did those in the grass. And I was like, you know, if it's on wheels, all you have to do is like stagger, right? So that's how I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try it. And I did. And I was like, whoa, what the heck? And somehow my body just kind of takes over when I know I'm going to bail too. Because I have broken my leg, and I have, that was the one thing that sucked. But when I was starting to, but it made me like kind of realize, okay, there's a safe way to fall. And I've seen people do classes on how to fall. And that's like, wow, I never thought of like how I do my falls is the same way. I kind of tuck inside and hold tight and tuck my head in. And the head thing is really important, because I'm not always wearing a helmet. And I know people are like, why are you wearing a helmet? I'm like, I know how to tuck and fall. It's like a fire drill. It's like the same thing.
So you
I
broke
mean,
your foot?
yeah, pretty much.
So you broke your foot at the beginning of your skate journey?
Yeah, I broke my right ankle in my lollies, in
Same.
gummy wheels.
Oh, I did.
Just pumping in a really, really small bowl. I would say it was like the middle side of Carruthers. Like, it's that small. You can know, you know what
insulting.
I mean.
That's so
Sorry.
insulting. No, not to me. Like, it's insulting to get hurt on something so small.
Right. Like, I was just pumping, and then all of a sudden my foot went like, and then it like, I like slipped underneath it, and like all my weight just like fell on it. And I was like,
oh no,
oh, that really hurt. Dang. Like, did I just sprain my ankle? And I was like, oh, I can't move it. Ooh. And then I got up, and I like, when gravity took effect, it was like, I was like, oh, that sounds like a popping. That's not what I don't think that's not supposed to happen. And I'm just like, I'll be fine. Let me just put a cold beer on it. It'll be okay. And it didn't go away for like, just like you instantly see swelling, and then you instantly saw some bruising. And I was like, damn, that happened real fast. I don't know what just happened, but whatever. And then like 2 days later, I was like, it's still not going down.
Oh my God.
I ended up walking on it. I walked up 3 flights of stairs, because beforehand I didn't live in a first floor apartment, but I walked up 3 flights of stairs. I drove home half an hour to my apartment, walked up the stairs.
You drove home on your broken
my
ankle?
right foot. Yeah, I drove home with a broken leg.
God.
That's crazy. Did you have to get surgery for yours though? Like, was it like severe?
No, it was
okay.
So the fibula in the back of the leg, so there's the shin bone, then there's the fibula, right? So that like broke diagonally and almost close to like cutting a tendon, but it didn't. Or not a tendon, sorry, like a joint, whatever. And I didn't, thank goodness. But they're like, you're so lucky that it didn't go further down, because you would have had to get surgery. I'm like, oh wow, I'm really lucky. Cool. I didn't even know I broke it. I was on it for 2 days, and I was walking on it. And yeah, my mom almost dumped me out of a wheelchair, because like she was like, you don't need to walk on your leg if you're hurting. I'm like, okay, I guess I need a wheelchair. And then she like, as soon as we went out the door, we were at this mall, there was a bump, you know, when you go through the metal doors, there's like that metal gate right there. No. She went like, and I was like, oh my God, I almost fell out. So I was like, Mom, what if I actually have a broken leg? You almost killed me. She's like, sorry. So then I got it checked out. They were like, yeah, you don't need surgery. You just need a cast. If you want surgery, you can have surgery, but this will just don't walk on it, so the bone doesn't like, you know, move away too much. And yeah, I mean, it's not like really affected. It does look kind of funny, because, you know, broken bones never heal perfectly. But my right leg is definitely way stronger now.
Yeah. When was that?
February, literally the first day of school, February 23rd, last year. Nope, sorry, 2020. Yeah, last year. February 2020.
Wow. Okay, so like over a year now. How long were you out for?
February, mostly February, March, April, May. 3 months. 3 months, but I rehabilitated my leg really fast, and I don't understand how I got it to be so, like, I turned around in like 2 weeks, which was crazy. So I started like skating again like end of May, beginning June. It was crazy because I was so scared. I was like, oh, I'm gonna skate again. If I do, I might hurt myself. Like, but then I was like, like I did something so minuscule. It doesn't really affect like the way I can start skating now if it's flat ground. It's just getting back into a park and like understanding how to stay staggered and all that. But yeah, I think I'm pretty sure like end of May, beginning June is when I actually started getting back into skating.
Wow.
It's really fast.
What the heck? I'm just impressed at the level that you skate at currently with, well, first of all, let's just get it completely straight. Had that happened to me when I first started skating, like had I broken something, even severely sprained something, I don't know how committed I would have been to staying. Like, you know what I mean? Like it shatters your hopes and it makes you feel so like just kind of weak. Like I can't do this, and then it just puts you in that mindset. And I feel like I'd just be so terrified to get back out there. But I'm just really, really amazed at how like at your current skating with just that amount of time. That's amazing, Alli.
I'm very persistent, and I mean I felt like when I was starting to roller skate, it was really like nostalgic because of ice skating. So I was like, I really want to get back into this. And then the pandemic happened, of course. So as soon as so this was February, right? As soon as I got my leg like figured out and I got my cast, I was pretty much incapable of like doing anything by myself. I had to get people to drive me. I had to like knee scooter myself to school in the morning, get up half an hour extra early to scoot to school 2-3 blocks away from me. And I just felt like so lame. I was like, man, like I can't do anything that I know I could do myself. Like I have to ask people for help. And like that was like really hard on me because I usually like to think of myself as a pretty strong, independent person. And, I think anyone feels pretty like down if they're like, I have to resort to this.
Yeah.
And once I, started getting okay with asking for help, I was like, I wish I could be doing something physical. Like I had to cut out my swim semester or swimming for my club team. Oh, hey. I had to cut out swimming for my club team for that whole semester, and I was really mad because this was like me getting back into swimming again because I took a break. And then I was like, damn, my leg broken. But it was like it was really hard on my mental health to just like be like, I can't do anything. But I kept looking at skating videos and that didn't help. So I was just like, I could do this. Like they're doing that same thing I'm doing. I did that exact same thing. Like I could totally do this, but I'm just incapable right now.
Yeah, that's definitely, I experienced that too when I was recovering from my leg. It's like, it's so weird how you go from like, because I broke mine early on too, like in the beginning of skating. And it was very like, okay, how badly do you want to do this? Like, how much do you like this? And yeah, it's so weird to go from like, oh, I'm learning all these new tricks, I'm having so much fun, blah, blah, blah. And then the next second you like have to ask someone to push you or like to drive you. Cause like I broke my right ankle too. And it's like, you can't drive. So it's just like, can you pick me up to take me to watch you at the skate park? Like, it's just such a silly, like you feel, it's really humbling, at least from my experience. But how did like, when you were coming back to the skate park, like, did you have a lot of fear coming back? Like, were there new mental barriers that you didn't have before?
I think I don't want to put, I guess I'm gonna end up talking about them anyways, but what really helped was just getting comfortable on flat ground again and doing trail skates and maybe getting more distance in from like flat ground trail skate and jamming and being at a rink again just kind of gave me more like courage to just try skating backwards, skating on one leg, skating, crossing over even, and just doing all the basic transitions. And once I got really comfortable with that and like finding my balance and not falling as much, I kind of was like, all right, maybe I'll give it a try. I'll go to the babyest park that's like no coping, just all transition, all ramp, all like tiny curves. and getting used to street really freaking helped. Oh my goodness, like getting onto a curb, getting off a curb, jumping on and off, 180, you know, doing stairs maybe, or toe stopping and being like, no, just kidding. Like just even preparing myself for any kind of dangerous impact. I like was doing all of that stuff. And then as soon as I worked my courage up to get to like this tiny park that I went to, it like made so much more sense to stagger. I actually started my journey with Zelina on wheels and Mira skates. Like my girls, we started going to this little skate park, and they're like, how do you do, like, I want to learn how to like drop in. I want to learn how to like go down a ramp and turn or carve. And they're like, is that even the right term? I'm like, I'm pretty sure. So we tried it together, and Zelina's like, I've tried it before and I ate shit. And I'm like, it's gonna happen, but yeah. And we tried it together, and they're like, I did it. I was like, I'm pretty sure I know how to do this because I've done it before, but like I'm scared. And they're like, you can do it. And so that encouragement really pushed me. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it. If I fall, it's whatever. I'm just gonna be careful, put my arms up and just stay really low, because that's like when I broke my leg, I was pretty much standing up.
Yeah.
Which is a no in skating. We all know that.
Yeah.
So I tried to carve, and the first time is so funny. I'll never forget. We had boba. We were like, let's get boba. Got boba. I was like, I'm gonna try it with the boba in hand. Whatever. Wow, this park is so cool. I fell, but I saved the boba like this,
oh my gosh.
holding the cup, and I was like, I'm okay. I saved it. I might be a little hurt.
That first fall, like from coming back from an injury, the one where you're like so scared of just like, fuck, I'm gonna die. This is gonna kill me. Like, I'm gonna break my other ankle. Like you have all these like crazy, or not crazy, but like so extreme thoughts. And then you fall and you're like, okay, I'm all in one piece.
Yeah,
yes,
fine.
yes. And the
Like,
boba's still in hand. Ooh.
Yeah. Like I was like, I don't know what really took over, but I think it was a lot of like, not fight or flight, survival of the fittest. Like just survive, just don't die, don't hurt anything that you think will actually hurt you really bad. The more surface like that you're gonna like, the more weight that falls down, the worst, and it's gonna hurt more. So I always thought like, okay, if I turn to my side where it's like less impactful, it's closer to the wall or whatever, it's gonna hurt less, right? So staying low really told me like, just don't make sure your head don't fall back, and like make sure your legs and your limbs are not like underneath your butt or anything like that. So that first transition, like I was like, oh my god, I'm carving. I just did that. I couldn't even do that in the little half pipe before I broke my leg. So that like really like made me feel like I could do anything if I'm just cautious and understand the dynamics and the mechanics behind it all.
That's actually amazing. I take falling really seriously. I feel like I do it often enough that it just like, Alyssa knows my qualms with knee pads, because for some freaking reason, no matter what I do, I fall on my knees. Either one, pick one. It's like I fall on my knees every other freaking day. And it's so frustrating, but I don't even know if this is like, disclaimer, this is just what I do. Don't do this if you don't feel like doing this. But I feel like when I wear more padding, I end up depending on that padding even when I'm not wearing it, like when I'm skating down the street. So then if I fall, I'll like think I have wrist guards on and like go to like put my hands out in front of me, and then like ruin my wrists or my palms, or like blow my knees out because I fall directly on my kneecap thinking I have a knee pad on when I don't.
Yeah. Oh, I feel that way too. We both, and it sucks because I know that it's like so not a preferred opinion to have, but like that's the thing
cool
about preferences. Yeah, it's not cool to not wear knee pads. I'm not trying to tell people not to wear knee pads, but for me, like it freaks me out like half the time where I'm like, oh no, they're on. Now I'm gonna fall on them. Then I'm gonna like every time I fall from my knee pads, I still like get what's it called? Like every time that I fall on my knee pads, I still end up hurting my knee, and I'm like, cool. So why am I falling on my knee? But yeah, someone at the skate park yesterday tried to tell me like, wear knee pads, and I was like, are you paying my bills? Are you my mom? Are you my boyfriend? No? Okay, then don't tell me what to do.
What?
And it was like a derby person, so it was
Of
expected
course.
from derby people because they're just like, they just want to tell you what to do all the time and wear knee pads, which I understand. Like sometimes it comes from a nice place, but in this case it did not. And I was like, dude, I literally just rolled up and you're already telling me to wear knee pads. Like, wear knee pads if you feel comfortable. Don't tell people what to do, period, most of the time. But
It's more
yeah,
amazing that people feel comfortable telling other people what they
what
think
to
they should
do.
do in the public
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, especially like one grown woman to another grown woman. That's kind of wacky to me. But yeah, no, I feel that way too. We're like, and especially like, I know that Alli, you and I both are around blading a lot, and like bladers are so like, they just, at least all the bladers I'm around just know how to fall in these like cat-like ways where I'm like I've seen my boyfriend fall off of like gigantic obstacles and he just like lands like on his feet and or like figures it out and I'm like, how? And I know it's just body awareness too. It's literally like cats. And I know it's like a matter of body awareness and just like years and years, like decades of doing it. But yeah, which I was gonna ask, with you coming back and like, you know, now that we know that literally like a year ago you broke your ankle, how has I know both of us like with how much you've progressed since then, do you feel like cautious when you're learning new stuff? Like I know that you're learning a lot of blading stuff and new grinds and stuff, and like how has it changed your mindset when it comes to like learning pretty gnarly new tricks?
A lot of times I'm telling myself, I'm not ready, I can't do that yet, I'm not gonna. I'm like, no, don't tell me I'm gonna do that now, because I need to look at it more. I need to visualize what I'm doing, and then maybe I'll try it. And if I feel like it's just a certain way you turn your body, then I'll go for it. And I'm actually like really lucky, especially with my blading, that I have so many great mentors. I have so many great like ex-pro skaters around me. It's kind of insane. It's like I literally was skating with Rob G not too long ago, like Wednesday. Rob G, Wednesday, come on.
This is
like,
Rob G's second like mention in just the 2 episodes that we've had.
I was gonna say,
someone mentions Rob G, you have to take a drink of whatever you're drinking.
Rob G has a 100% honorable mention rate on our podcast so far.
He doesn't realize that he's an ad sponsor.
Yeah.
It was really interesting because I see him quite often at Milpitas in my skate park up here. And it's also like funny because one of my blade, I guess he's kind of one of my mentors. He's also one of my friends, but he's like he's been blading for a really long time, and he's a break dancer. And he's like, oh yeah, that's like one of my best friends. I'm like, okay, that's cool, amazing. I'm no freaking pros out here. And I know like I have a bunch of sponsored skaters up here that are just really freaking good. I'm just so freaking lucky. And I'm like, everything that I'm learning, they're giving me such good advice. And I watch them fall. I watch them like recover out of things. And a lot of times it's like they can tell what's going on because when they go through the trick and maybe they bail a little bit, they like have a little instinct to just catch really quickly. So they're really, really in tune with their body. And sliding out seems like they're either getting really low or staying still and tucking and sliding out, especially like in a half pipe. That's mainly what we've been skating. Not too much street stuff, but even still with street stuff, like I'm watching them just like kind of tuck and roll. And I think I've always had that kind of like instinct to just catch myself and just huddle really quickly. Like I've been getting into more aggressive grinds on pool coping in a 9+ feet bowl, and it's like the G-force is really strong coming down. So I have to either make up by carving out of it or like turn around or like just air, and I'm like and like luckily with quads toe stops are a thing, so they do help a little, but had it not been for like that, like I guess just awareness, I probably would be like breaking my body right now, because I had done some sketchy things where I was just like, nope, that's wrong. And then instantly like see where the closest transition is and just kind of turn into it. So luckily like the coping at the pools that skate are like really forgiving. They're really slippery. It's like going to Tustin. They're so brand new. Like it's basically waxy. It's just oily. Oh god. But it's great. but yeah, I don't know, like I've been told they're like, you're just, how did you save yourself from that? I'm like, oh no, I'm just not trying to die again. Like that's my instinct. Just don't die. Just don't hurt yourself. And, I mean, you kind of need that to like react really quickly. And in bigger things, you have a little bit more time because there's a moment in time where you're just like, wee, and you can kind of curl in so you don't hurt yourself. But in like in something so small, you have like no reaction time.
Yeah.
Like in that bowl that I was in a year ago, I literally had like 2 seconds, barely even like 2 seconds to think about what I was doing before I already fell. And then that was that. So I'm like, I think I'm very grateful for yoga, swimming, and all my blade friends for being very aware and like telling me how to visualize things before I do it, before I do a trick. So, and with knee pads, I feel like I do rely on my knee pads, but when I'm not, I'm just like, go with the flow. Don't even worry about it. No, do the tricks you think you're comfortable with and get into that and perfect the tricks that are basic before you can do anything else. Cause I'm seeing people do like brand new stuff and they're just like, how did you do that? I'm just gonna try it. I'm like, can you like do a perfect stall first though? Or can you like fake the stall perfectly? Cause like, I'm not gonna say you're bad, but
yeah,
I see people being very ambitious where they don't know how to perfectly execute one thing before another. And then, I mean, if not, doesn't have to look perfect, but to them it feels comfortable. And if it's not comfortable to the person like trying to do a new trick, then it's just like the next new trick you do is going to be really rough and hard, and you're going to hurt yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, Alyssa and I talk about this all the time. Of course, like because we're big proponents of go at the pace that you need to go to. Like, don't, and we've all been guilty of this. It's so fucking awesome watching someone do like crazy shit on a really tall ramp. Of course, we all want to do crazy shit on a really tall ramp. Or like sliding, I feel like is always something people want to like get right into and then get yourself off, and then you don't want to try it for way longer, you know what I mean, than that time frame that it's taken you to just like build up to it. And I'm not here to tell anybody how their journey should go at all, or to talk shit about it, because I'm not talking shit about it. But it is nerve-wracking watching someone go for a 50-50 when their frontside stalls are just barely there. Like, it's like, just, I don't want you to hurt yourself, and then I can't see a broken bone. Like, that shit freaks me out. I don't want to see blood. I don't want to see you break a bone because you didn't have to. Like, that's the thing. It's like, if you didn't have to do that, then we could have all been fine.
Oh,
now
yes.
awkward. And now no one wants to skate the bowl because it's cursed.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yes. I totally have seen people do that, and now we're like, it's cursed. I'm like, no, you just weren't ready. I'm sorry, no, not in that sense. It's just you weren't like,
it's not
you didn't get comfortable yet. You need to get comfortable before you can think of doing things outside of your comfort zone. Right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Those tricks will still be there. To sound like my mom telling me anything, like those tricks in that skate park will still be there later when you learn how to do the bare minimum and like the basics. Get that down.
That's what actually I think really, that mindset, that whole thing really helped me make my skating progress go faster, because I was like, oh damn, like I really want to do what this person's doing, but I can't even like get a good stall. I don't even feel comfortable with it. Like, I feel like I'm just barely on top of them, just sitting down all the time. It's so much work. Like, it shouldn't be this much work. They make it look so easy. Like, and people make things look easy because they can perfected, XYZ to get to where they are now.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, wow, I gotta get this perfectly and make it comfortable to my style, to my liking, before I can do like crazy foot tricks and stuff like that. So that, like, once I got to that point, I was like, I'm so comfortable doing this. All you have to do is a little bit more, and then it's not as hard that way, because you can feel safe with those tricks. I call them safety tricks.
Yeah,
we all have a safety trick, right?
Yeah, everyone needs a solid foundation.
Yeah, I feel like there was a point in my skating too where I just accepted, like Jay said, like everyone learns at their own pace. And like, I think I was definitely trying to keep up with a certain pace in the beginning of my skating. And then I just like would get so discouraged that like, I didn't know how to do this or this or this. And then at some point I realized like, it's kind of a trick, just like feeling good. Like
Yeah.
sometimes the trick is just feeling good while you're skating. And that's something I have to remind myself of a lot, because I do kind of get in my head sometimes of like, God, I've been skating for so long and I can't do shit. Like, what? This is crazy. And then I'm like, well, but do you like skating? Yeah, then that's it. Then like, what's the rush? What's the competition? Like, there's no one's getting paid for this. No one's like, there's no race. There's no anything like that. Like, being comfortable on wheels is something that's definitely noted and something that's worth like celebrating, even though it's not like a formal trick. Like feeling good, being comfortable, having solid foundations. That's why, yeah, I feel like there's with like the influx of new skaters. Huh?
Those are the tricks of the month.
Yeah, trick of the month is feeling good. Yeah, show me your submissions. I doubt you have it. No, but yeah, it's such a silly, I don't know, like, and I know that we all I'm not going to speak for everyone, but I know that a lot of people feel the same way of like the need to, or it's excitement, I think, of like, oh, I want to learn this, I want to learn this, I want to learn this. And then it's like, okay, it's going to be there in a month, like even in a year, probably, like it's fine. And I think that, yeah, I've seen a lot of newer skaters like in this past year who are just like absolutely going for it, but like not necessarily in like in a scary way, like where I'm kind of worried I'm gonna have to call the ambulance or something. So yeah, I think it's really cool that you've been able to progress while also like, you know, having things solid. And like I think that maybe your body awareness for sure helps you with the falling too. I think that's like so admirable and amazing. And that's another thing that I've thought of, like even all the bladers who like they're just so in their bodies, like they're so connected to their bodies, you know. And that's something that I wish, or that I try to work on as much as possible, so that I can also fall and skate well.
Seriously, I feel like every fall doesn't need to be a, like when I first started skating, every fall was fun. Like every fall
Yeah.
would leave me like off my skates for a week at least. Every
Mhm.
single one. I'm like, how do people do this shit? Like I saw Michelle fall so many times in that video. How'd she do this? And it's just because you have to know how to do it. Apparently, no one gave me the memo.
I know, and I always have to remind myself, like with Michelle, with all the bladers, that they've been skating for so long. And it's like, why do I expect myself to have that level of control?
Who do I think I am?
Yeah, like who do I think I am?
I'm definitely like way more of a visual learner. Oh my god, go! Puppy! Can't with this dog.
I have barking dogs in the background too, and I'm gonna
I think
fucking
they hear
blow
each
my
other
brains
on
out.
Zoom.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm
I was
like-
like, oh my god, you guys are killing me.
I'm sorry, I can't relate because my little guy.
I love your potato. Oh,
Yeah,
so
my
cute.
little Peter cat.
What was I saying? Oh, I'm definitely like when I see what Michelle inspires me so much. They're so freaking good. Like I think what inspires me especially is because I'm more of a visual learner. I watch the people that I am inspired by skate, and I see the way they fall, and I'm like, okay, they're turning their body. They're avoiding, like if they have wrist guards on, maybe they're using just the wrist to push away, or they're like, doing certain movements. And I think I like to look at that movement and kind of do the same with my own body. So what I like to do is like just watch people skate sometimes and see how they fall, and I'm just like, oh god, I like in my head, I hate to be that that person that gives unwarranted advice, but I'll look and in my head I'm like, oh, they could have done this to protect themselves, they could have turned a little bit faster. Like I really hate doing that, because it's like, and not everyone's me, not everyone falls the way I do, and it's like I can't just be like, do this the way I do. It's like that's just not right. And I know it, like cat. Sometimes I just feel like I will try to be like, do it this way because it's safer, but like I don't want to be that person that's just like, do it because I said so.
Yeah.
I just like know like some people have to learn to get to that point. So part of me is like, are you okay? Like the only thing I can ask is, are you okay? Did it hurt? Like,
Or-
We're
Hope
okay,
you're
right?
getting
Like
on
I
them.
always double ask. I'm just, oh my god, that was scary.
Yes.
Or me and Alyssa we'll be watching somebody help someone drop in like the sketchiest way, and we'll just be like sitting in the background like
Holding your breath.
Yeah,
like
it's so bad.
and it makes me feel like an annoying like coach, but I always preface it with like, please cut me off at any moment.
Mhm,
If
mhm.
you don't want my advice, please stop me now.
Let's just start like coaching at Woodward or some shit. Let's do it.
Word. If you're
Or
for listening,
yeah, I would
Yeah.
love to.
get us over there. That would be really cool. I can't wait till like skate camp comes back and then we can
I
all
know.
Did you ever get to go to Woodward, Alli?
No.
Because you've been
wanted
skating since
to.
June, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen.
I like
It'll
figured out what Woodward was when I was in middle school, but like when Do Tour, the skateboard Do Tour thing was going on.
Uh-huh.
I like met all the skateboard pros. I was like, oh my god, they just are wow, and a skateboard. And I'm like, mad respect to some skateboarders, but you know, whatever. Anyways, besides the point. Woodward was like the dream. I was like, Mom, I want to go to Woodward. They're like, she's like, you don't need to go to Woodward, you have swimming. I'm like, but I want to go to Woodward and be a pro skater. And then had I not done that, I would have never found out about like roller skating. But like there's a skate park is a skate park. It's meant for all wheels. So I'm like, we're included, so we can do that too.
Let's see. What other questions? Oh, we wanted to ask you, how do you feel like blading in quads? Like, give us the skinny on that. Like, do you feel like it helps you? Do you feel like it hinders you to like
Oh my god,
go
it
back
helps.
and forth?
It helps so much, like so much. I think from being like from getting a good foundation on my quads first really helped me with getting a foundation on my blades. I definitely did not know the body mechanics at first, so I was just kind of jumping at things and then just going like with my legs, because the H block is rounded. Our slide block, H block, same thing. They're rounded on blades most of the time. So anything that goes straight towards it, there's nothing to stabilize yourself on, because we're usually on a flat surface or curve that's like very minimally curved. So the H block's like, it's like a cup, goes like that. So we're just like, you could just slide out, and it makes things so much faster, but also more harder to control. So I've noticed when I slide, I have to bow my feet and keep that stability in between my legs. That really helped my slides a lot. And then getting my feet to like go from here to get like a sole to go this way, definitely helps with like hip flexibility. I felt like I could turn a lot faster on my quads because there's so little ankle support in quads versus the blade skate, which is like a plastic boot. It really like, I feel so much more comfortable on my blades because of how much support I have. And it's just insane that like we haven't really changed over to something like that yet, even though, we're into that retro style. But I will say Rossi's does have a plastic quad skate that is meant for park skating, and it has a slide block that comes with it. It's a full complete set for like under $300 for sure. It's really nice. It's not that hideous. It looks kind of like a plastic ice skating boot, but it's definitely got some work to do.
Yeah, I saw those and I was like, not a fan.
Yeah,
I
not
thought
everyone
it was
likes it.
Yeah, it was just like whenever I see like an inline and quad fusion, it like kind of freaks me out because I'm like, my brain can't comprehend what's happening. But at the same time, like quads are so not where they need to be hardware wise for like where we want to go. And I think everyone kind of feels that pain at the moment or is suffering one way or the other because of it. And like I know it's being worked on by a handful of people, but we have a long way to go. And I mean, granted that this type of roller skating is so new, like it's expected for it to be kind of behind a little bit. But yeah, You know, and that's funny that you mentioned the H block thing too, because when I got my Broscows, my them skates, inline skates, I was like, it was during like P-rail time of quarantine, and I was like, I could do some front sides on the P-rail on these new skates, duh. And I'd never grinded on them at all, or like any inline skates at all. So I just like went for it and totally did the splits, and I was like, what the fuck? And then Greg's like, you don't like, it's rounded, like your blocks have like edges, like it's a little square, and these are like whoop whoop, and so you're just like,
they're like
yeah. You go on those for sure. But yeah, I always hear people like quad skaters be like, oh, aren't inline skates like so lightweight and easy? And I'm like, girl, put them on your feet, they're so hard. Like I suck at blading.
I put my cousin Haley, she goes my mochi cat.
She's that's your cousin?
That's my cousin.
Oh my gosh, she's so good.
Yeah. She's so cute and she's so good. So yes, that is my cousin. We are blood related.
That's so sick. And you're both so good. Oh, I wanted your
runs in the family. Okay, I don't feel as bad anymore. It just runs in the family.
And she's also very athletic too. She's a dancer. So she inspired me to get blades. I was like, damn, she's so good. Like, why does she make it so look easy? Like, she makes it look so good and easy. And I was like, maybe I'll try it. And I tried hers on for the first time, like a long time ago. And I was like, this ain't it. They're too big. Also, they're so under your feet. You're just like, blah, 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 blah. But honestly, getting used to that, like, it's the same way we did with quads, it's like, you got to get that push, you got to get the feel of it and feel the balance. And when it took me maybe like a good couple weeks before I could figure out like how to transfer from quads to inlines all the time. And getting that balance was like really hard for me because I was just like too forward, too back. Like, oh my God, I'm falling on my face. Like, oh, I can't move my legs. Like they're bounded. But it definitely took that time to just ride around and go in circles and like just use them every day to like ride around places. And that really helps with like, one, getting way more balance, and two, figuring out how to like get the tricks differently, because blade tricks and quad tricks are completely different. Blades have the sole plate under the boot. They have the H block, and they have the backslide, which is like the grooves on the boot. So if you're like turning down this way, you have H block and a backslide to catch you in two positions. So you're literally locking into almost everything, versus quad. It's very like linear. It's very on top of things. You're not like turning too much of your ankles unless you're like purposely doing a UFO or whatever. Yeah. So it's like such a big difference, because we're so used to being so linear, and blades have such like different geometry to like lock you into different like edges. And if you could go on top of anything, you could go on top of anything. So that's awesome. I really like blading for like how much creativity you can do with it. And I mean, vice versa, like quads can almost do the same thing, but in quad version. And like, that's the most that you can do, is like, if you get your wide trucks, definitely like make things so much more achievable. Like I tried 50-50 on narrow trucks before. I did it and I was like, I can't even get stability because it's too thin. It's like, there's just no space. So if anyone is interested in doing wide trucks, I freaking recommend it. You will feel, if you get that balance on blades and quads, wide trucks will change everything, and it'll make your like skating experience so much more fun. I want everyone to do it.
I know, I want them to be, because you have the Sure Grip Park series, the newer ones, but like Michelle, I believe Michelle has the old school Sure Grip, like the original ones, which were like the ones,
really short, yeah.
The ones, like they look so perfect. And I feel like I'd be more willing to try it if they didn't seem like such a, like what your wheelbase going from a normal truck, just a normal truck, to like even the XO trucks, which are kind of smaller, those still look massive. Like to me, that just seems like an accident waiting to happen.
I got because Michelle like swore by the trucks that they have, and I was like, okay, fine. And I talked to Wicked. I was like, hey, do you guys have this, this, this? And they're like, well, we can order them for you. And I was like, sick. I want the old parks or the old Sugar Grip trucks before the park series. They're like the version 1. And they're like, okay, cool. We'll look for them. They gave them to me. I put them on my skates, died every single time I tried to skate in them. And I was like, I literally took them off after like 5 attempts at skating wide chucks. And I was like, this isn't for me. But lately, because I'm on the Jack 2 now, or I have been for like the past year, and I've been thinking, well, maybe if I try them on the Jack 2, since there's so much more stability and like stiffness and reinforcement in the Jack 2, I was like, well, maybe I'll have more control over the wide chucks if I put them on a stiffer boot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, wide chucks, I wish that I liked them, but I wanted to die every time that I skated wide chucks.
It's a big adjustment.
It's huge.
Like it was a big adjustment for me because I literally felt like I couldn't move at all.
Yeah, that's how
like, what the hell? It definitely like once you like carve maybe like a bowl once, 3 to 4 or 5 times, you start to break in that like, you know, you have to get used to the weight distribution going right and left. Like it takes a while because like their trucks are there's so much more space. And I know a lot of us, like, especially if you blade, you stand really close.
Yeah.
Which kind of scared me. If I was too close, I would like, oh, got cat hair in my mouth, sorry. I would eat, I have a kitten right here, so she's just sleeping. So I was like, I was afraid I was gonna fall and like wheel clip myself. And I when Zelina started using wide trucks too, she would clip herself. I'm like, you're standing too close. Like, holy, it's scary. But now she's just sending things like crazy, which is amazing. But
yeah,
it's just like, wow, the wide trucks, once you get used to them, there's so like, it opens a whole new door of skating.
Oh gosh, I know. And I think that's why I'm like, okay, fine, maybe it's time to give them another chance, because I can do 50s on my narrow trucks in some places, and like I can do some grinds, like I can do Mizus, and I'm trying to learn top sides, but I can't grind them very much because I'm just on kingpins.
I think
and it's like the worst.
Is easy to learn though, because it's a backside with your foot in, so it's almost like just catching the back foot first.
Yeah, but I still have issues like grinding it on my regular trucks. No, it's the kingpin.
Oh, it's the king. Yeah, okay.
So I'm just scraping.
I had that problem too. Like that's why I broke my plate, because like it was just shredding the kingpin every time I like put it down. Yeah, and that's what forced the like bolt to just pop off. So I mean, maybe that's my theory, but I don't know. It's just if nothing, if anything, it was mostly just because like the trucks were so low, the kingpin was just too long, and like for the park series, they're perfect. Like they're just really tall. the V2s are just really tall. So I'm just like, can I have something shorter? But if I have something shorter, I think just the balance on the shirt grips it was so tall. I felt like I was gonna like fall over. It's so tall because it's like 4 inches. I'm 5'1". Yeah. That's a little tall for me. Top of the heel.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're like 5'9" with your skates on.
Everyone's like, you look so tall. I'm like, it's just my quads. Literally, if I took my skate off, I can barely touch the floor with my other foot. That's really tall. It's like here's my skate, here's my toe. Like, oh my gosh. I have a lot of height on me with the skates.
That is so funny.
Wow. That's crazy. I've never thought about having to distribute your, like, just to not fall like a tree as you're skating. I just don't change anything. I keep everything like
Neither do I.
It's a big adjustment. It's totally understandable. I was like not sure at all because Cammie and Zelina got wide truck before I did. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, these feel weird. We're all relatively the same size. It's just like, these feel weird. They're just so like, I feel like I'm like, like I don't have much stability. I'm just like, I couldn't move. I couldn't push out. I had to like put way more weight on top of the other to like push to like just even start moving, which is really scary. And then having those trucks be so wide, you kind of feel like they're kind of wobbly in a sense, or you just don't move at all. So that's probably what like really scares most people. But
yeah, when it's
worth a try.
Yeah, when I had the wide chucks, I felt like I was like glued to the floor.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna you're convincing me to try again and give it like an honest attempt. I'm like Jay though, where I'm like people will ask me skate like technicality questions about hardware, and I'll be like, I have no clue. I like what I like, and I like never change my skate setup. I go like I have my CIB blocks, I have my Reactor Neos, my Reactor Pros, which I actually don't even like the Reactor Pros at all. And I'm like, meh. And I'm just like so boring. And everyone's like, oh, I'm trying this new this. And also, not to mention that skating is really fucking expensive. So like it's not like everyone can afford to be changing their stuff up all the time anyways. But yeah, you're inspiring me to try putting my wide chucks back on, but on my Jack 2s this time.
Yeah,
sweaty.
the hardships
I
of
know.
hardware.
Seriously, we have a lot of them in quads, like so many hardware hardships.
It's I've even like complained to my blade friends. I'm like, how come it's so how come we can't have like a UMS, like a universal mounting system, please? Like,
yeah,
I just want to have something that's easy. I've spent probably like 2K on like all the stuff that I've ever gotten. Like it's ridiculous. Easily, I'm as much as it sounds. I'm pretty sure we've all spent at least that much on like our quad stuff, and it's ridiculous.
You're so right.
Yeah,
you think about it, it's a lot.
I know. I haven't thought of that explicitly, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah,
it seems so irresponsible now.
I know, it's all for like a little game I play. Yeah.
This is why I keep saying I'm broke.
Yeah.
I just stopped complaining about it. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So we're approaching a good amount of time on this, but so I want to know if there's anything. What's your favorite object, or I guess like obstacle to skate, and then what's like your least favorite?
Ooh.
My favorite thing to skate for quads are like half pipes and bowls. I love half pipes and bowls. I will take a nice bowl any day, a nice half pipe any day. And my favorite thing to do on blades would be ledges, rails, half pipes, and bowls. I love it all. I don't know what my least favorite thing is. I think my least favorite thing that I constantly say I don't like are rails, even for both, but I do love rails. Like they just scare me. Like some things are just really scary, but I will be like, oh, that was so cool. All right, that's it. I'm not doing it again. Like you got the clip. Cool. Let's finish. Yeah. No, we're not doing it after that. Like yesterday, my friend was like, hey, hit that circle rail. I was like, I'll do the square one, but I don't want to do it. But I did it, and I was like, okay, that's it. And they're like, not again. Like the person was running away. I'm like, I don't care. It looked good. Let's stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that would be it. Oh, I haven't really tried too much vert because there isn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like not like estrogen's vert. I want to try something like that, but I there's like nothing really like that's to my liking, because there is one vert in our area in Sunnyvale, but it goes like vert wall, and then the transition is like I call it a Twinkie because it's like a little thing that you can jump over, and it's like no coping. So you kind of it's like this, and then as soon as it starts, there's another thing that comes right up. So it's like too close. It's way too close. I'm like, I can't even roll out of it. I'm just gonna go back flipping over it, and I'm gonna die. I don't want to do that. So I haven't tried this vert, but I know a lot of bladers, a lot of scooter, skateboard, BMX bikers. Like I know everyone that's done that, and I'm like, you can roll out of that so nice, but I'm like, it's like boom, it's like a really quick shock effect. You just have to absorb it all really quickly. So I'm like, I want to be able to roll out nicely and not die.
Yeah.
So
oh no,
I want to try vert. I really want to try a vert, like a straight vert, but there's nothing like that around here that's comfortable. So who knows?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yep. Now that I I dropped in at Estro's ramp, and now that's like all I think about is wanting to skateboard, and there's none. I mean, there's like, ew, no, that is Houghton's disgusting. Have you been to Houghton?
No, but I mean,
It's disgusting.
Amy told me that
Yeah.
it was like not bad, but not the best.
Who said that?
Cammy was like, she's like, it's like the bowl transitions are really sharp, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and that vert wall, it's just like, and it's super slippery. Yeah, unpopular opinion, I don't like Houghton. Also, I've been like assaulted at Houghton, so I just like have a bad taste in my mouth about it, obviously.
I heard that
like,
about Venice too. People are assholes.
People are weird at Venice. They treat you like you're like a monkey, like on a stage. Like they're like, okay, do this. Like it's so gross. There's so many tourists there just like videotaping you, telling you what to do. It's gross. But yeah, no. Vert wall at Houghton is a no. I want like a half pipe. You know, I need someone
there we are, yeah,
to just decide that they're
up and down.
Yeah, they've been moved by the grace of God, the skate gods, to build a nice little wooden vert ramp, like 10 feet tall would be perfect. Not too tall, not too small.
Okay, but Alli was skating when we were at Volcom, when it was it like the take over the bowl thing at Tustin, and then we went to Volcom, and Alli was skating. So the big bowl at Volcom has its like 2 pockets, and then it's like big backside.
Yeah.
And you were skating it like a half pipe, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. Like go from one side to the other and like use it as like your own personal half pipe. I was shocked. She did a fakie stall.
Ew, that's disgusting.
It was really high.
It was
9 feet.
So high.
That's not 9. That's what? That's 9 feet.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
What did it feel like?
Deeper. I thought it was like 12.
No, like, it's 9 feet.
If not 12, because I'm like, wow, what the hell, really? Man, I guess when I swim, I'm literally on the top of things, so I can't tell the difference. But like when I swim in 13 feet pools, I'm just like, it's not that deep.
Yeah.
I forget.
Fun. No, it definitely feels bigger than 9 feet, though. I think the concrete adds to that, where you're like, oh gosh, it's hard.
Okay, so then the bowl that I skate at in Newark's got to be like 8 feet, because it's got pool coping, so it looks a little bit shorter. I love that pool coping so much. Oh my god, it's so nice. It's the most buttery pool coping closest to like metal pool coping. It's so smooth.
Okay,
like if my metal can slide on concrete that well, that's something good, because metal and concrete are not meant to be together.
No, I can already like picture the sounds it's making. I can hear them in my head.
You're like, well, actually, if I think of it like a skateboard, it's meant to be together because it makes that sound. But also, like skateboarders have thicker trucks, and I have like a metal bar that's ready.
Yeah, we have like a safety pin. It looks like on it.
Yeah, I didn't know that people didn't use that bowl like that, because it's a perfect, like, it's almost the same. It's like the same on each side of the pockets. It's just that the tall vert side, the straight part is like, you just go into 1 or 2 of the bowls and that's it, and you just kind of roll it. But I'm like, I want to use the entire deep side.
That's fun. Wild. That is wild, and that's why
I want to go back.
Come back and skate with us.
Come to me and I'll show you Newark.
Would love to. On my way.
You're so far. San Jose feels like not that far, and then you're like,
and Newark's like 20 minutes away from me, so it's like not even that far.
Well, maybe it's 20 minutes closer to us then.
Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so to not to like bum everybody out, but there's some shitty stuff going on in the world as per usual. But right now the current target is Asian Americans. So we do want to touch on that, just because you are an important, like, at least in our little bubble of a roller skating scene. You know, you're a beacon, you're somebody that people look to, that are inspired by. So just if you could just give us a couple of words on how you feel about the situation and what you think people like me and people like Alyssa and anybody else who cares about the Asian American community, what we can do to be better allies in this current situation.
I First of all, I'm really bad at this, but I don't really watch the news, but I have been getting messages about like, they're like, oh, hey, I know I don't know you, but I'm so sorry about what's happening in the world. And I just want to let you know that we're here for you and we stand by you. And if anything happens, please speak up. And I'm like, oh, like, thank you so much. Like, what's going on? But then I saw this happening, and I actually watched like the most dramatic video of that little Asian lady who got beat up by this white guy. And I mean, among a couple others, which I assume because it probably wasn't just her. And what seemed to be like either them in Chinatown or in an Asian area, like, I mean, I don't know, it could have been any Asian area in a city, but that just devastated me because first of all, my grandma passed away, that I wasn't very close to her, but she only spoke Chinese. And it was really hard growing up to like go to her house and be like, she's giving us dinner and we're enjoying the family time. And like not being able to communicate with her was really hard. So I had to understand her tone of voice and her actions. And I would just be like, okay, like, yeah, I'm done. And it was really hard to communicate with her because my parents never really taught me Chinese or Cantonese. So I would be like, what did she say? I'm sorry, I don't understand. Like, it's kind of awkward. But when she tripped and fell, she didn't get assaulted. She just tripped and fell down the stairs. She's getting old. She was really stubborn. She was like, I'm gonna keep going out and like donating food, or I'm gonna keep going out and like go grocery shopping. She had this big egg on her head, like a big bump on her head. And that was like, to my mom, very like traumatic because she couldn't really tell her to stop. And like, they're both really stubborn. So I think in my mind, we're both worried that like she would get, kind of like picked on because you got a bump on your head, you're Asian, you don't speak English. Those are three things that people are just like, I can pick on you for that. So that being said, when I heard about the situation, I was like, wow, that could have been my grandma. That could be my mom. Like she could get beat up and I wouldn't be able to do anything. And I know that they wouldn't be able to defend themselves because like when people think, oh, you're a woman, you're Asian, you're, very disposable in a really bad way, that's, I never want to say that, but, Asian women tend to be in that sex trafficked where they're very disposable. And I'm like, that could be my mom, that could be my grandma, that could be my auntie, that could be my sister. Like, we can all be attacked and no one would care. And as much as like, it's so hard to say, like, I know my mom would probably not be able to stand up for herself because they think, for some reason, people think that we're stupid. We don't speak English. We're not from here. We look different. We're yellow. That's just not at all. Like, we are probably I would say we have some very smart people that are Asian and very successful people that are Asian. And it's like, why would you judge a race for what could be just a natural phenomenon that, maybe COVID happened, or because, whatever your ethics are different. So like, that's literally every race. Everyone's race do different things. And it's so sad that people are getting targeted for this. So it made me feel really heartbroken to know like that this Asian lady, this Asian grandma is getting beat on. I heard along the lines, I don't really speak a lot, but I only know this one word because I'm dumb, but she said asshole, like something asshole. And to me, like, book guy means you asshole, like, why would you do that? That connotation gave to me like, wow, they messed up and they did something bad. Like, we don't just say curse words. We say it when we wholeheartedly say curse words in Chinese or in any Asian culture. So my mom used to never want to curse. Like, she would never curse. And my mom would always speak Chinese to my dad to talk shit about us because we don't understand. So when I heard that word come out of that lady's mouth, I was like, she's really hurt. She's very enraged. And this is really sad that it's come to this and that she's being hurt and she's old. Like, why would you ever hurt an old lady? So that's my opinion on that. And I think the best thing people can do to support is, message us, tell us that we're on your side. And people in XYZ communities, like in the Black community, in Latino community, in any community, even if you're white, like, and you if you're not educated about it, like, just say that I stand for you, I'm here for you, and we care. And that's like the most reassuring thing you can do. And even if you donate money, that's on you to donate money, and spread word, like, that's the best you can do right now. So definitely. It's so hard to talk about.
It is. No, we really appreciate you even getting,
thank you,
even being willing to talk about it. But another disclaimer, if you are anybody, this is to whoever, our little group of subscribers, anybody that gets to listen to this, if you feel differently about the situation, if you have some weird opinion about whatever, any hint of racism, please get the fuck off this channel.
Yeah,
we do not want you here. We do not stand for it here.
Don't need your support.
I'm not sorry. We don't want your listen or your subscription. So with that being said, we really appreciate it. It means so much to us that you're willing to talk about it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, of course. Like, I'm like, these are my favorite people. Oh my God.
Oh, no.
Interviewing me.
You're such a shredder. It's such an honor to get to talk to you. And I'm still shocked that I can't imagine where you're going to be in like 5 years.
Dude, that's exactly what I was thinking too. Which, first of all, I don't want to jump like straight away from that topic, because thank you for talking about that. It's really important. And like, I hope that people hear that and realize like, okay, yeah, this is like, it's really valuable for like, I mean, I can only speak as a white person, but like, it's really valuable to hear other people's perspectives, because like you can try and imagine how someone might feel, but to hear someone's actual words of like what their fears are, what their thoughts are, it's really immensely valuable. And so I really appreciate that. And but yes, you skating, shredding is the better word for sure. I think it's normal to like go back and try and like make sure I'm well versed, or that we're well versed on who we're gonna have on the show. On the show, on this achy breaky janky podcast. And I was looking at like your old clips, and like you progress at the most mind-blowing, like the intervals are so small. You're like, 1 month you're learning how to drop in, the next month you're doing backflips. Like, it's so incredible to witness. So I'm just like, I was thinking about that too, Jay. I was like, where is Alli gonna be in a year? Like, she's gonna be like, you're gonna turn into a roller skate. Like, I don't know where else you can go other than just
roller skate. Yeah.
Well, this is like kind of off topic, but like my, I guess, skate dream is to be like, I don't want to put it like so high up there, but I want rollerblading and roller skating to be in X Games, and I want it to happen. Like we need to freaking change the way roller skates are before we can like get into X Games.
Oh, absolutely.
But like, you know, that might take a long time, but we don't know. But like at the same time, I'm just like, I really want people to appreciate how much blading and quad skating are like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. I know, like, it's very women dominated in roller skating, very male dominated in rollerblading, but I'm starting to see a kind of convergence of both of the two. So I'm like, this is so new to me, and I feel like I really no place to say, because I'm like, I didn't grow up doing any of this. I just started. But if I could see that now, I think like the more we do this, the more it's going to be like, you know, mingled, blended together and mingled. So I really hope it's going to happen. I'm advocating for both, and I'm getting more people to get blades, and I'm like, you could do it. Just try it. Just do it.
Dude, okay. Alli, you have no clue how stoked I was when you were like, oh, I think I'm gonna get some blades. I was like, yes. Because like, I mean, you have like a big enough following where it's like, I think there are a lot of people who have some wonky ideas about blading, and like, I'm not trying to change anyone's mind, because that's just above my pay grade. But like, I loved when you were like, I think I might get some blades, and I was like, get blades, because I knew you're gonna make them look like you're gonna be so good right off the bat, and you're gonna like prove so many people wrong or like make people face their wonky opinions that have no actual backing.
Exactly.
And it makes me so happy to see you like thriving and learning at such an accelerated rate and like kicking so much ass on blades and quads, but like especially blades, because it's just like, dude, Alli makes blading look so fun and so cool. And like there aren't a lot of girls in the sport compared to dudes. And like I love seeing you on blades. It's just like such a like warm and fuzzy experience to watch.
I bet it kind of makes a lot of the like the guys be like, wow, like girls can do this too, and they're like actually good. I want to be able to change the mind of especially men who are like so stuck in their ways. Like girls we're freaking shredders. Like don't like think we could do little dainty things like dancing. Like yeah, I like it. I can dance too. I mean guys dance too. So like why can't we all do it all together? And it just like doesn't make sense to me. Like I'll even mention some of my like my little captions like one day I really want one day all the bladers and quad skaters should just be one, like to be like all together. Like how come we need to marry them right now? Like it's just like it's so like it makes progression so much easier. It makes falling safer. I mean there's just some things we do, like Cammie was telling me, she was like, how come when I fall on blades, it doesn't hurt? I'm like, because you don't have toe stops, you don't have to think twice. You just have to fall and make sure you don't die. Like
that's a
you
good point.
literally have no choice other than to fall safely or to fall like on your butt. And that's why I'm like, stay low, stay close to the ground, make sure you're bending a lot. Like not everyone wants to do that, but you have to because it makes you. So I think that like really forces that, which is good, because sometimes we're literally standing up straight and we're just like, oh no, like I'm gonna fall. and then it's like, because you're standing straight, like if you stand straight, you hurt yourself. But until you're comfortable, then you can do that. But like we said, get a foundation before you start. So
Exactly.
I'm
Oh my God,
gonna be like,
exactly.
oh,
I'm still working on my foundation. What?
Last thing, for the AAPI, get yourself a taser.
Fuck yeah.
As much as it sucks, like I don't want to make it comical, as much as it sucks to say that, like we're literally having to defend ourselves, like be safe, get a taser, get something, get like, I don't know, like support your friends and get a defense keychain. Support skate Roller Dreamin', Sarah.
Ooh, Roller Dreamin', hi Sarah, we love you.
With like, and small businesses like that, because literally like they were cute, and like I think we're still kind of like COVID and racism, it's always going to be there, but like even more so with Asian people getting endangered. That's a good way to say it. Like having something on you is probably the safest thing, even pepper spray.
Yeah, at this point I think it's been proven that it doesn't matter what you are, if you're not white, like things are gonna be sketchy at some point.
Yeah.
Like, there is no one's spared in the situation. So
yeah, it's very unfortunate. It's like I can't believe I've gotten to this point that I actually have like 2 tasers now. Like I just can't risk my safety at all. And I'm 5'1", 115 pounds. I'm literally small. I can't defend myself as well as other people could. So having some kind of reassurance is with, I'm not gonna say go get a firearm, but like with some kind of safety.
Dude, honestly, it's so fucked that it's like that they have them too.
Like
how about we all go to Biddy and like ask her to show us how to fight.
Yeah, Biddy, teach me jujitsu. And like
Biddy's at Biddy Smalls on
at Biddy
Shouts
Smalls.
out Biddy.
Teach us self-defense. She should totally do that, like a short tutorial on self-defense.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk to you about it, Biddy.
Biddy.
Contact Biddy, please. Our FBI guy, can you please contact Biddy?
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny. I do have people in my area that like are black belts and martial artists. So I'm like, yo, teach me something.
Yeah, show me how to pluck some eyeballs out or something. I need it to be traumatic for everyone watching too. I need it to be like, don't you dare. Don't you approach me.
Mommy, I got a spoon.
Oh,
I hate it.
I'm sorry. Sorry to everyone listening now. At this point, we're just talking about like hurting people, but first,
Yeah, now it's getting a little bit weird, and we're just talking
right.
about like weird
let's stop that.
situations in our head. You never know. I think you've answered all the questions that I had. I don't know. I'm sure we'll have you back also though. So
I could talk forever, so please stop me.
yeah, literally that's our problem with 2 out of 2 episodes so far, is like we could talk about this for hours and hours.
you would think that we enjoy this sport or situation.
It's almost like we all really care about roller skating. It's so weird. And like each other too. But yeah, I don't think I really have any other questions that are worth extending our time super long. I will always have questions realistically. That's just, I think we'll both always have questions. Also, I'm realizing now that we're both titled as Alyssa Brooks, so we're gonna have to like figure out who's the real Alyssa. And I don't really want to be her, so if you want to be Alyssa Brooks, take it away.
I love. I'll take it.
Thank God. Finally. I'm relieved of this burden.
Who do you get to?
Oh gosh.
You don't want none of this.
Yeah. I know. I don't want your tax returns, but you don't want my student debt. So
oh my God.
This was Aaron's financial situation.
Yeah. But no, I think that's about it. Mostly just like thank you so much, Alli, for coming on and talking to us. And like I can't wait till we can go up there and skate your parks with you, because like you're gonna have to like hold our hands on the whole Bay Area experience.
Yeah.
Be like, Alli, where are we going today? Are we gonna skate another boat? Like we're gonna be
I'll
such
take
babies.
you to a wooden half pipe by the ocean.
Oh, that's the one in Capitola or something, right? Or Half Moon Bay. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I've been to Half Moon Bay before. Okay, we're definitely gonna talk about this because I
yes.
do that. Let's do that. Yay! Thank you so much. You're awesome. We are not worthy.
No.
I can't wait to see like what you do and learn next. Like I feel like you're like getting close to the ceiling of roller skating. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, we're so excited. All right. Well, we're gonna log off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Wow Gr8 Podcast. Do all of that shit down there. Comments, subscribe. Tell us if we messed something up. Tell us if you liked it or if you want to hear from other people. Follow Alli at, what's your handle?
It's Alli Skates, ALLISK8S_.
It's amazing content and it's
so good.
I'm embarrassed to say how many random screen recordings I have. I'll do that eventually. All right. Thank you again.
And please, if you're listening and you're okay with this, maybe try subscribing so that we can have like a personalized YouTube URL instead of the youtube.com/ZY792655.
So yeah. All right. We're signing off.
All right. Bye. Talk to you soon.